is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin, Cam Water.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the Fishies.
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around. Woo.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan De Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. It's Michael Conchar that's got around Dylan De Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cuttajar's got past, so Dylan...
light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan De Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes. As the safety car pulls in, we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the Fishies, any of the Piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're
this
off.
first lap? Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's.
We've also got Shannon's Home and Contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin, Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because I'll tell you what, Bruce Tannock and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't implemented, which is fair enough. It's pretty scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. See, look at the line. God's just absolutely competitive here. Really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sim Racing World TV. And welcome back to the W&B Tools IMSA Shadow Series here for round number 3, not round number 2, I haven't changed that. Round number 3 of Season 2 of 2024 here out at Road Atlanta. I'm your commentator here tonight, Hamish Munro, joined alongside once again by Stefanie Piccoli. Steph, Road Atlanta, a absolute classic circuit for multi-class racing, of course, known for the Petit Le Mans in IMSA. And just a heap of racing history around here for these sorts of cars, for sports car racing and for multi-class racing as well. And we're going to be on for a cracker night out at one of the kind of, I'm trying to think the mainstays, I guess you'd say, in sports car racing.
Yeah, Road Atlanta, good track, good fun. It's definitely one of the mainstays, I think. One of the staples in an IMSA series. Doesn't matter where you are, it's always there. So, should be on for a cracker night tonight, I think. Yeah,
the good old pork chop that is Road Atlanta. At least that's what I always think it looks like. Maybe I'm always hungry whenever I'm thinking of this track, but it's a track that promotes some great racing. Obviously, a lot of. Oh, thank you for telling me the audio is perfect. Appreciate it, Sinker. Thank you. I worked hard on it to fix that today, actually, but. I mean, Road Atlanta, it is a phenomenal track, Steph. Nearly everybody would have done laps around here, no matter what sim or racing game they would have played on. It's on about nearly everything. I think if anyone's ever been involved in sports cars or open wheelers, they would have for sure raced here, even supercars as well, and even production cars. It's a mainstay track. It has both a feel of club racing, but also international racing with it as well. And it's one of those circuits that you come here, it feels like a special race. You're going to be on for some great action throughout, and it's going to be a good challenge for the drivers as well.
Yeah, definitely a challenging track. And like I say, it's a staple, no matter what class you're in. IMSA, any sort of Tim Tops, open wheelers, you're always going to find a Road Atlanta somewhere on some racing platform, iRacing, your Xbox, your PlayStations, those kinds of things. You're always going to find a Road Atlanta. It's a great, awesome, fun track.
Well, I mean, we mentioned not only different race series that have come here, or different car types that have come here. I mean, even Formula Drift comes here as well. Funnily enough, their drift section is the last section. It's from the back straight down in towards the chicane, and then the little bit of road that isn't raced on is part of that drift section. But nearly anything and everything comes here. I believe MotoGP's come here before. It has a lot of racing history about it. It's it's almost the Phillip Island of America. I think you could name this track. It's that sort of a level where it's well known, a lot of international racing, and just a really solid track. And I think we're going to get some fast-paced action here tonight. Obviously, GTP is going to be down to just under 70 seconds for a lap time, so under 1 minute and 10. GTDs are going to be under 1 minute and 20. We're going to be fast-paced. It's going to be lap after lap, just getting pumped out here for 45 minutes. And qualifying is going to be crucial because it can be tough to pass around here, but if you get caught in the traffic, or if you get caught in any other cars' ways who may be slowing you up a little bit, you're going to lose too much time to your competitors. So it's going to be paramount that they can get the maximum out of their qualifying so they can try and break away early and also avoid some of the carnage that could happen in behind them.
Yeah, carnage. Definitely something that can happen here. You have to sort of, more so I think, around Road Atlanta than other tracks, sort of prepare yourself and set yourself up for a pass or an overtake well in advance, a lot more than any other track. Sort of, some tracks you can get away with 3 corners back or 2 corners back, but this one you got to get it done early. Got to be in the right position early to make that pass.
I have seen in the chat as well that Sink is asking us to check out the sexy Team SRW Cadillac. I tried to, but Josh pulled out at that point of the lap. But what I will say is Stephen has finally finished and made a car look phenomenal. That caddy actually does look really, really nice. It looks like a GTP car, like a GTP style livery. That is probably your best one you've done yet, Sinker. I will pay you to give you your flowers on that one. The caddy does look very sexy. I will admit that. One thing that I have noticed here tonight as well, there are a couple of new drivers out there who haven't been in the series this season thus far. As we come into the end of practice, not everyone's been able to set lap times, obviously. We're going to see how the pace looks and how everyone kind of feels going into qualifying. Ash DeVries topped the times for the GTP class in this session in his Cadillac. We'll see if he can match that in qualifying, but importantly, Blake Neck, who won last week, didn't set a time in practice. He didn't even get out on track, so maybe he's trying to hide some things from the rest of the competitors here tonight. But we'll have to wait and see how everyone feels and how everyone kind of deals with this qualifying session going forward. But first 15 minutes, as always, Steph, goes to the GTD cars. They will get 15 minutes to set some times and to have a crack around this circuit.
Yeah, these cars, they're pretty good. I think just touching on Blake Neck there, I don't know if he has much to hide after last week's efforts. They were pretty epic, so coming from not setting a time there. So I think he doesn't really have a great deal to hide at the moment, but definitely I'm sure he's giving it a go.
I'm sure he will always be willing to have a chat, have a crack with things on track, of course. But we get to talk about GTDs now, and it looks like it's the resurgence of Greg Barber and Adam Hughes at the moment. They finally found some pace back in these GT cars. Obviously a merged team into Blackout OPR. And hopefully they can continue this run and maybe even get onto the top step tonight. Maybe just pip Mr. Dyson to win, although Dyson's not even here tonight. So maybe we, it's going to come up to Ryan Jones to really challenge him for DPR.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle towards the end. Well, for the championship, it's definitely sort of heating up at the minute. Different winners. We've had a couple of different winners now. All of 2 different winners so far for the first 2 rounds. So, seeing what will happen tonight, I think we could potentially be in for another winner, different winner tonight, maybe.
I don't know. I claimed that F3's on Wednesday we'd get a brand new winner, and Dylan DeBono decided to crush my dreams by winning a race. But yeah, it's interesting. I think this track, out of the ones we've come to so far, I think next week Long Beach is your highest chance to get a first or a new winner this season. But I think tonight, this is also a track that can do it because it can offer up some chaos. It can offer up some moments for cars to make mistakes across both classes. And it can catch other drivers out, take other drivers out of contention. And if you've been able to keep a clean race, it will pay you dividends come the end of the 45 minutes. One of the main sections we really got to talk about, the bottom of the S, is the kind of the transfer from the meat to bone section of the track, the corner before the double right. It can catch a lot of drivers out, especially on the curb on the right-hand side. And it can cause a lot of drivers to spin it around, hit it into the wall. And even if they hold brakes, if that wall doesn't catch them and pushes them back on track, it's going to catch a whole lot of drivers out and cause a whole heap of chaos through that section. So we can see, though, Dylan Shepherd coming up to it now, currently sits pole position for the GTD cars. And this is the corner I'm talking about here, this little left-hander up here. That curb on the right-hand side causes so much carnage if you catch it wrong. And it shoots you to what is the right-hand side of screen, but left-hand side of track as you come on through.
Want to keep off that curb 100%. I know I do myself. I try not to hit that curb because it's not going to end well if you do hit it.
Yeah, it's even drivers getting caught out, they may run on it lap after lap, but it only takes one running slightly too wide into the sand as Adam Hughes goes top of the timing sheets with a 118 dead. But Mr. Shepard was looking good up until the 3rd sector, but now he's on an orange through the 3rd and up into the 4th. So we'll see if he betters his time and gets past his teammate Adam into pole position, but it doesn't look like he's going to do so at the moment in qualifying. But, we're etching closer and closer to 5 minutes in, nearly 10 minutes to go. Chris Island's looking for a strong lap as he's had a faster sector through the 2nd. See if he can improve upon anything in the latter half of the race, but that 1st sector may hurt him here if it's not competitive enough up to this point.
It's always difficult to come back from a first sector that's not car, either with a PB or quickest. That always tends to make it a bit harder, and then you try and push harder, and then you tend to make a bit more mistakes. So hopefully he keeps it clean.
SJC asking in the chat, how do I get involved in this series? So you go to our website, www.simracingworld.com.au. You register as a driver, you then pay your subs. You either get a $10 subscription for a season or a $30 subscription for the year for 12 months. We run 4 seasons across the year. Obviously, we're slightly off kilter with the iRacing seasons, but we do still fit 4 in within the 12-month period. If you sign up at the start of the year, obviously you get a season for free, only paying $30 comparatively to $10 per season. Once you register as a driver, you then get a link to join the Discord. When you're in the Discord, you then register for whichever of our 5 series you want to register for, whether it's the Tuesday night Supercars, the Wednesday night Formula 3s, the Thursday night GR86s, the Friday night IMSA Series, or the Sunday night V8 Supercars as well. There are certain classifications involved with each series as well. You'll get all that info there out of our Discord once you have registered and paid as a driver to be able to join the series.
Definitely get around it, guys. If you haven't already, get around
I
it.
saw a portion of last night's race, and I'm glad I don't drive 8.6s based on that rain.
Not talking about last night, Hamish.
That was the first race we've had this season, Steph, with rain. How can we not talk about it as Chris Island runs way wide through turn 1? A mistake I've made before, and I've run straight into the wall.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very, very easy to do through there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Rain was fun. But that's all I'm going to say about last night's race. My performance, no good. Moving along.
Hey, I said it after I spoke to some of the drivers at race yesterday, and even today I spoke to them as well, and I said, if you can get solid in the rain, like not necessarily be fast, but be really consistent in the rain, doesn't matter what track it is, you will get really, really good results. It doesn't matter how fast you are in the dry. If you're really good in the rain, you will beat people who are super quick in the dry, because it takes so much more car control and arguably skill to be fast but also consistent in the rain and in variable weather like that. And we've already seen it's helped certain drivers get further up the positions than what they may normally be. So I think going forward, knowing that series is going to have rain, if you focus on practicing in the rain, then you are going to get better in that car, and you're going to get a bit better car control as well.
Yeah, the problem was I actually did some practice in the rain.
Well, not enough apparently.
No, definitely not enough. Gotta hone those skills in. It's just it's insane the difference that the rain does bring to your racing experience. You know, you've got it's chalk and cheese, the wet and the dry. It's any little over acceleration and you're looping.
I do not look forward to. I don't look forward to when the supercars get rain, when Gen 3 comes out.
That's gonna be a tough one.
It's gonna be death. Is the only way you can really describe it. As we currently stand halfway through the GTD section of this qualifying session, it is Adam Hughes P1 at the moment with a time of 1:17.720. His teammate Greg Barber then lines up P2 ahead of DPR's Chris Island, who separates them, and Dean Mackay as well. And then Dylan Shepard makes up the top 5. The top 11 cars are all Porsches at the moment here in qualifying. There are only 2 non-Porsches in the GTD field. It is the Ferrari of Mick Clifton on screen at the moment, and also the Audi of Greg Johnson. The rest of the standings stands as Ryan Jones, Ty Delaney, Damien McBay, Jamie Dyke, Brett Wardby makes up the top 10. And then Andrew Dyson, who is in the session here tonight. We'll see if he can challenge Adam for the win. Mick Clifton, Callum Hodgson, and Greg Johnson makes up the order for the GTDs at the moment.
It's the Porsche. Everyone loves the Porsche.
They do. They love the pig. You know.
Yeah.
I'm a ham lover too, to be fair. And I'd have to be as the ham in the ham and pickle sandwich that we are here on Friday nights.
That's it.
So, you know, it's you got to live up. You got to live up to it, I must say. Mark Hockman in the chat. Come on, Mick, go Steph, and then well done, Mick and Greg. You can beat that Porsche. Keegan Caldwell in the chat saying only 8 GTPs are here tonight. Where is everybody? Count 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10. There's 10 GTPs, Keegan. What are you on about? There's not 8, there's 10. Can you not math?
Nope.
Apparently not. 10's a good number. I think for GTPs, the max you want is probably 12. You don't really want any more than that because it becomes a hell. Yeah, it becomes hell for GTDs. And then if you were to eventually mix in LMP2s, it's then even worse. And if you have GTD AMs as well, you don't want any more than 12. Yeah, just because there was only 8 in practice doesn't mean that the other 2, weren't here. They just didn't set laps. One of them joined at the end of the session. The other one joined very early and just didn't do a lap. So,
making sure they got their spot in the grid. They made the session.
I don't know why Keegan's complaining. He has a guaranteed top 10 tonight.
That's it.
Like, that's not a complaining point. You have a guaranteed top 10 finish.
Top 10's a goal. And if there's only 8, then you got a top 8.
Exactly. And an easier chance at a top 5 because there's only 3 people you have to beat instead of 5.
That's right. I wouldn't be complaining. Those odds. With those odds, if I was on track,
and especially, it sounds like you are, King. You said, where is everyone? That sounds like a complaint to me. But one driver we want to point out, though, we always talk about him, Ty Delaney. Want to see how he does, how he improves in this car. Obviously, changed from GTP into GTD this season. And to be hoping to just improve upon his skills and try and get a bit better in sports cars. I'd be so interested to see how he does this season in this car, and possibly if we were to ever run an endurance race with multi-class, how he would do in that sort of setting with the 50 boys, of course, and how his seat time in this car could go towards them possibly doing quite well in the GTD class. So very interested to keep an eye on him. He's obviously picking up some good positions in races, but he's not quite at the level of Hughesy, Barbs, Shepherd, Dyson, Island, Jones. They've been super consistent and up the front nearly week in and week out whenever they do show up. He's yet to kind of break through the bubble at that point. But the number 7 car in P7 on the road at the moment, maybe it's an omen for tonight.
Yeah, or number 7, number P7, you never know. Look, for Ty to take a step back from the GTPs into the GTDs, it's a big difference to adjust to. They're just complete different driving styles. It might take him a little bit to get used to it, but look, good on him for taking that step to try and hone in his skills and perfect them a bit better and fine tune them. And it will most likely pay dividends, or will pay dividends for him when he does decide to go back to the GTPs.
One thing I will say is I think the transition from prototype back to GT car is a lot easier than the transition from GT car to prototype. Obviously, we've seen drivers try and go up from GT to prototype in the past. It's such a struggle. We mentioned the roadmap so much. We probably chewed everybody's ears out enough now about the roadmap. But the roadmap's there because it's important, and that's how you hone your skills and get into that prototype. And I think Ty's smart enough. He'll race some officials. If he wants to get into the GTP eventually, he'll run through the roadmap, and he'll get there when he gets there. He's young, He's not even 15 yet. By the time he's 20, he'll probably be top split of GTP week in and week out, no longer driving supercars. Who knows? But
it's always the young ones, isn't it? That always go so well.
Even Rehan, he's ridiculous.
Some of them can't even drive legally on the road yet.
Ty can't. He doesn't. I don't even think he has his learners. So that's questions to be had. Maybe as soon as you get a 5K I rating, that's when you get your learners, barring of age.
Yeah, maybe. It's good to see though, these young guys coming up and, putting their skills on show, because they've got them. Put them out there to show them off, guys. Don't hide it.
Also, I've just realised, Steph, if Mick and Greg drop out tonight, I finally have my Porsche Cup Series that I've been asking for, but using the GT3 Porsche, not the Cup car. That's what we've got on offer at the moment.
Look, I don't have any wood around me to touch. Chances of Mick dropping out pretty slim. don't think I've ever seen him drop out.
Well, what if he gets absolutely?
But you know,
what if he gets absolutely massacred on track and then his car can't be fixed in time?
oh yeah, it's a different story, I guess.
You know.
That's a different story.
Less than a minute to go now for the GTDs. In fact, it's about 15 seconds left for the GTD. So if they want to get another time in, they must start their lap before that 15 minutes is up. Tidal does have an opportunity for another lap, so does Ryan Jones. Greg Barber, I think this will be his final run. Dylan Shepherd's pulled out of his final run at the moment. Mick Clifton is about to finish his lap. He will not get another one in at this point in time. He'll cross the line. He'll stay. He'll go P13 as Callan Hodgson actually just pipped him at that point. So now the top 12 cars are all Porsches, and Mick Clifton and Greg Johnson are in a world of their own at the back of the field. Mark in the chat saying, I'm with you, Hamish. A Cup Series would be awesome. I know, right? I've been trying to sell this for the last 6 months or so.
A while.
It'll be perfect. It would sell itself. But at this point in time, Greg Barber's the only challenger we have to Adam Hughes in pole position, but he's going to bring it into the pits. Ryan Jones is on a green second sector, but we'll see if he is actually going to complete his lap. As it stands, it is Adam Hughes pole position with that 1:17.72 that he did not come back out and beat in qualifying. As Jones comes around the final corner, Ty couldn't better his time. Does Jones better his? He did not. He went 0.07 worse than his best time. And now the GTPs get to come out and have a crack at Road Atlanta here tonight.
These guys are quick around here, these GTPs. My goodness me.
Well, we didn't see a 6 in practice, but we also didn't see Blake Next at a time in practice. So will we get a 6? We'll have to wait and see. Their quali laps will start now.
Cards.
It is.
It is.
I mean, top time in practice was a 17.1. So that was as close as we got.
I wouldn't write it off. That's for sure. They're quick enough to definitely get it. So let's hope we see it tonight.
Well, first sectors are coming in. At the moment, none of them have gone fastest through the first sector. Of course, this will be counting Jake Edwards has actually gone fast in the first sector. I do apologise. Neck has gone fastest, though, in the second. Edwards, though, pips him. This is going to be an interesting run to the line. Of course, Blake is paramount. He wants to stay in the caddy, where Edwards is in the Acura. So we'll see how they go here tonight. Where is Go Trees? Well, Mr. Ash Debris is currently 404. Error car is found on the back straight at the moment. But Blake Neck's going to cross the line. He's going to come through the final couple of corners. Looks like he ran it a bit wide there, so it may not be an absolute barn burner here. Bit of an incident at the end of the lap. As he comes on through, we'll see what he does here. As we get some calls to race control in the background from Zach Mitchell. De Vries went pole position with a 108.99. First clean lap of the session. So running wide cost Blake Neck, and it appears that Jake Edwards also copped an off track, as his time has also not been counted. So we'll see how long it lasts for De Vries, but currently he sits in pole position. Take a photo of it if you can, Ash, and hold it in, because I don't know how long it's going to last with Blake and Jakey out there.
That's a week time. Goodness gracious. We'll see quicker, I'm sure of it, but...
Well, as we said, that Brand Tucker's just gone 8-4, so Brand Tucker goes pole position in the Porsche. His teammate Blake Neck will be looking to better that time on this lap as he comes on down into the Formula D section of the Road Atlanta circuit. I hope you don't see any drifts through here tonight, Steph, as he comes on through. Didn't balk it up that time over the crest of the hill, down through the fast-running final corner of Road Atlanta to cross the line. He's going to go pole position in the caddy. What's the time going to be? Is it going to count? It is. It's a 106.4.
Oh, it's 6.
See, this is why he didn't set a time in practice. He's just absolutely cooked them with that lap. Edwards went 7.3. If he'd crossed the line first, he would have been absolutely praising his name. But Blake Neck showing why he is the talk of the town and the measuring stick at the moment. Caldwell goes P3 with an 8.1. And we mentioned his Itashar livery last week. He's found more Itashar this week with a Toyota livery this time. I feel like next week he's just going to be driving around in an anime girl. It's not even going to be a GTP car.
Nah, there's a flash of the headlights. Definitely. It's good to see. You know, he's having a bit of fun with his liveries and mixing it up a bit. It's good.
Well, talking about having fun, there's a Jeremy Clarkson livery on Jordan Ferguson's car. Oh.
These guys are doing awesome with these liveries.
Hey, you know what? I'm here for the meme. Friday nights are a fun night. You know, get on it. You know, for the smug face. Let's just see what they can do. You know, Blake's up front with that 6. These guys are battling for the minors, are hoping for him to make a mistake. But it's really, really good to see at this point.
I can't get over that livery.
It's phenomenal, isn't it? Last Friday, Jordan found this on Trading Paints and immediately put it on his car. It's good enough for P5. He's gone 108.2, bettering both his teammates bettering 2 of his teammates, Ash DeVries and Kyle Grech, who is yet to set a time here in the Porsche on debut into the series here tonight. Zach Mitchell, though, the only of those drivers in and amongst that team into the top 3 at this stage in time in his caddy. He also found himself in Itasha apparently, so it's taking over. We'll see what he can do tonight. But Blake Deck, I mean, what a lap! 106.4. He then decided to do a 7.5 the lap after, so he's having fun with it at the moment.
He's playing now. He's having a play now. Yeah, he is. He's done his lap.
I don't like us saying this too early with 10 minutes to go. I cannot see that time getting beaten at this point. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, haven't seen many purple sectors pop up since that lap's been thrown down. So it's seen a lot of greens and oranges, but no purples as yet. So hopefully we can see some purples come up. That'd be awesome.
I'm going to be honest, I think that's wishful thinking at this point in time.
I know, but yeah, I would like to see someone go up and challenge him.
It would be nice, for sure.
But yeah, there's definitely reasons why he didn't put a lap down in practice.
He didn't want to give away any secrets. As it currently stands here for the GTPs, it is Blake Neck to Jake Edwards to Zach Mitchell. That's the top 3. Then it's Keegan Caldwell, Jordan Ferguson make up the top 5. Josh King, Brant Tucker, Ash DeVries, Gordon McCulloch make up the top 9. Kyle Grech yet to set a time here in qualifying. As DeVries goes P2 with a mega 107.14. And that is his fastest lap, Steph, around this track. Yeah. That's his fastest lap ever that he's ever done around here. Yeah. He's never gone faster than a 107.14. He did the 107.19 in practice, so he's finding some pace at the moment. Under the weather tonight, but maybe that's a secret. Maybe he needs to try and get sick more often because he finds pace out of the GTP car.
Maybe he's been practicing all day and had a home day and feeling under the weather. He's done some extra laps. Don't know. Who knows?
He was playing Halo all day. What do you mean?
Oh,
he's not practicing.
Well, maybe he needs to play Halo before every race.
Maybe that's the play going forward.
Yeah. Have a game of Halo first.
Yeah, exactly. So DeVries, the best of the rest at the moment. It pains me to say that with how. Well, in saying that, he wasn't actually far off Blake's last second time. It was a 14.93 this time by. Blake's was a 14.91 on his best lap. So it's not out of the realm. He's gone as quick as Jake did in that last sector, so he's finding pace. The rest of the field is finding pace as well, as both Keegan and Jordan have been knocked out of the top 5, and Brant Tucker now sits P5 on the road. But it's going to be tight as, Brant Tucker, big slide through the S's. And this is one of the sections we're going to have to keep an eye on as well tonight, Steph.
Yeah.
That first couple of corners is going to cause some chaos early on, I can already tell.
That's definitely going to be the action point for tonight. Chaotic corner, I'm going to name it. I think that might be a suitable name for it tonight.
Yeah.
Going to be see a few incidences up there, I think.
It is good, though, to see a nice car type spread throughout GTPs. It's not all Porsches, but no BMWs out there, but it is a nice spread of Acuras to Caddies to Porsches in the car choice tonight. But the Caddy is the car of choice, apparently. There were talks in the background that it's not very good around here, but the majority of them, I think there's 6 Caddies signed up to the session, including Jack Anderson, who hasn't set a time yet. So, 5 Caddies compared to 4 Porsches and then 2 Acuras. It's V8 power at the moment over Pig and V power.
Who wouldn't go for a V8?
That is true. That is a good point. Some people, though, would go for the Acura, but they don't like it because of the turbo lag. But
Yeah, not a fan of the lag.
yeah, but Honda owners know
down
about
the go.
lag all the time because of V-Power. So, VTEC. I don't know. You know what? It's a shell-powered Acura. That's what it is. As Jake Edwards crosses the line, he finds his VTEC. He goes 107.02. So could he get into the 106s? He's on the cusp here tonight. He's going to have to find some real pace, though. Mr. Kiflom in the chat. Acura is the beast, just waiting for Mugello. Hey, Mugello's going to be wet as well. I checked the radar for 2 weeks' time. It's going to be wet out there, so we're going to be in for a good time. Edwards, though, has gone 2 purples in the first 2 sectors. So have we finally got a challenger to Blake Neck's 106.4? Jack is saying, I want the Sebulba pod racer caddy sound. As Edwards comes down, he hasn't betted his personal best through the 3rd sector, but this could be good enough to go top of the timing sheet as he comes through the final couple of corners now. Is it going to be enough, though, to beat Blake Neck as he comes on through the final corner? He's going to cross the line. What's the time going to be for him? It's a 106.29!
Ooh. What a lap.
I spoke too soon. Your caddy, Stephen, is not on track at the moment at this stage in time. Keegan is on track, though, Kiflom. So Mr. Keegan is out there. And Brooks, as he makes a mistake, is not on track. I don't even know if they're in the session, actually.
Seen Dodsy out there.
Yeah, no Dodsy. But what a lap from Jake.
That's mega. Absolutely
I
mega.
mean, we thought the 106.4, that's unbeatable. There's no way anyone will beat that. 106.29 beats it by over a 10th.
I was hoping someone would go close to it, but I was expecting a 6.2.
He went close. He was 1/10 away. But the other way. Not off. He was ahead.
Yeah.
But Blake Neck, suddenly he has some work to do. Suddenly he has to find some pace out of the caddy. Will we? I mean, I'm going to be honest. I saw the purples come up. I was like, what? What?
Yeah, oh my God. What's going on here?
What has happened?
Maybe he's thrown a clean set of tyres on it, taken a bit of fuel out, and look, he's gone.
Maybe he had a secret setup that he found in the nether that he's brought to fruition.
A lot of drivers tend to have a quali set and a race set, so it's possible. He's kept that aside. He's done some laps in his race set and gone, nah, let's use this one instead.
I've just noticed.
This one's better.
Jack said, look at my beautiful Chevy. He's got the same livery that I have on the caddy, which is the Corvette. And honestly, it looks so good as Jake's gone off at T1. It looks like an actual caddy team, like Corvette team.
A Corvette team, yeah.
It looks so good.
No, I love the paintwork on them. They're you know, have some fun with the GTPs with your paints and stuff, with all the different lines and curves.
They run art cars quite often, so you think of some of the meme cars we have running, like the Top Gear livery or Grand Tour livery of Jordan Ferguson, or some of the Itashar ones we have from Zach and Keegan.
Yeah.
It's just a... Jack Oz has a rear of grid, so no qual for him, so we'll see him at the back of the field. You know, it's just like art cars on other GTPs from WEC and in IMSA, so you get a bit more creative with it. It's not as kind of hard-pressed as production car or touring car racing as such, so... but only a minute and a half left, Steph, and at the moment, Jake Edwards is on top with a 106.29. We pulled that time out of absolutely nowhere. Blake Neck with a 106.4, and then Ash DeVries P3 with a 107.14. The rest of the GTP field as follows is Mitchell, Tucker, Caldwell, Ferguson, King, McCulloch, Gretsch, and then Anderson, who has a rear of grid, so he is not setting a timer in qualifying, but Neck has gone purple in the second sector. And will we have a challenge for Edwards? Will we get a 5?
It's on the cards. He's got a purple. It's on the cards.
On board with him now, and why wouldn't you want to be on board as he comes down into the FD section? Hasn't gone any better in the third, but he has gone faster than Edwards through the third. As he comes up over the hill, is it going to be on for pole position for Blake Neck and TriStar Racing? Round the final corner he comes across the line. It was only a 106.5. Oh.
Damn.
Oh, just unfortunate. Those final 2 sectors lost it for him, and that might be his final opportunity. Unless he can pull something out here on the last lap with 30 seconds to go, that could be it for him.
Wow. All I can say is wow. I think these Edwards and Neck, man, they're just going to run away with it tonight, I think. They're laying it down for the other guys there. This is the speed we've got. This is what we're playing with. Come catch us.
We don't even have Brandon Grotch here this week either. So it's like, what pace would he would have had with the check it out now for qualifying? It looks like Edwards is going to be on pole unless Neck can find some absolute barn-burning pace through the final 2 sectors. It's not looking like it's going to be good enough for pole position. We'll see if he crosses the line to finish the lap. He is going to. He has to work for this harder than anything he's had to previously this season. Goes fastest in the last sector, but it was only a 106.95, so still not good enough for pole position. I can't see Brent Tucker beating the time as he's already finished his lap. We've got to be honest, I don't see Keegan or Jordan beating it either.
No.
As they come down the hill.
Those guys are in a class of their own tonight. Absolute class of their own.
Unfortunately for Brand, he's actually gone personally faster in the first sector, but he can't finish this lap at this stage in time as Keegan pulls it in. Jordan Ferguson's not going to finish the lap. He's had a spin as well. And Brant Tucker is not going to finish it either, but it is at the moment, and what it's going to be is Jake Edwards' pole position with an exceptional time of 106.29. A record set by Jake here tonight for Road Atlanta and IMSA Action. I don't see that time getting beaten for a long time, Steph. That is a record I think could be held for quite a fair while.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be knocked out anytime soon either. That's an incredible lap. Wow, that's impressive. Absolutely impressive.
It was quite a phenomenal lap from him as we get into the end of qualifying and into our gridding up for tonight's race here. And this will be our starting grid for tonight's race as it stands. Jake Edwards will start on pole position with a time of 106.288 ahead of Blake Neck, who was plus 111 of a second in that time there for P2. Ashton Rees and Zach Mitchell will start alongside each other on row number 2. Brant Tucker and Keegan Caldwell making up the third row of the grid. Jordan Ferguson and Josh King will then line up alongside each other for P7 and P8, with Gordon McCulloch and Kyle Gretsch making up the top 10. Jack Anderson will then make up the GTP field. He'll start alongside pole position for the GTDs. Adam Hughes for Blackout OPR here tonight. P12 on the road. Greg Barber, Dylan Shepherd then make up the second row. Ahead of Chris Island and Dean Mackay. Then Ryan Jones, Ty Delaney in behind, with Andrew Dyson and Damien McBay making up the top 20 cars on the road here. Brett Wardby and Jamie Dyke then make up the top 22, with Callan Hodgkinson and Mick Clifton in behind them. And then we go back to Greg Johnson, who'll make up the field with Stefan McCartan, and I believe Leakey is our race controllers here tonight. For the IMSA Action, it'll be a full lap rolling start, Steph, so they'll be behind the safety car for a full lap here.
Yep.
And then we'll be able to go racing. Actually, no, they're going to come down the back straight, I think it is.
Not a full lap. There we go.
No, it is a full lap, sorry. No, yeah. Yeah, they're on the main straight.
Yep.
That'll be a full lap. So get your predictions in, ladies and gentlemen, on who you think is going to get the win here tonight. We do have Cam and Cam tonight, Sinker, don't you worry. We've had Steph set up her view of the GTPs when we cut to the GTD start. So we will have that on screen when it is prudent.
Yep. Just making sure we're all good to go.
Very good. As we await the start of tonight's proceedings here for our race lights are up. We're going to get for our rolling start here out at Road Atlanta. As mentioned, it'll be Edwards versus Neck on the front row. GTPs will roll away and the GTDs will follow suit once a nice gap has been built. Good opportunity actually to check out that Corvette livery that we spoke about, Steph, on Jack Anderson's car. It really does look like a Corvette, doesn't it?
It does. That's insane, isn't it?
The air intake on the
is
front works perfectly for the little Corvette headlights, and it gives us another front-on shot. You can see the difference between Josh's, who's a bit further up, and then Jack's as well. So we love a bit of expression for the liveries, of course. As I mentioned, there is the Team SRW livery of Josh King. And as I mentioned, this is probably Sinker's best work he's done for a livery. It looks really nice. And looking at the only thing I'd say is Shannon's logo just needs to be that little bit smaller, and the Warren & Brown Tools logo needs to be the white variant Sinker, and it would really pop on the car. But apart from that, like layout-wise, it's really, really good.
Looks good.
Yeah. And it really looks like a GTP car as well, which is good. You know.
It does.
Even though we spoke about some of the liveries, Ferguson's in the pits for some reason, so possibly starting from the pit lane here tonight. And we'll see how that materialises for him. Yeah, saying that for art cars, obviously the couple of Itashars lining up alongside or in behind each other. The King in behind Mr. Zach Mitchell. But it'll be Neck and Edwards head-to-head on the front row. It's all going to be about maximising your start, getting away nice and early, and not getting caught out by the carnage, possibly ensuing in behind you. But there is a big gap that's been left from these guys back to the GTDs, which is good, because it will mean that we will have some leeway if anything happens for the GTD field or for the prototype field as well, as we get ready to go green here tonight. Safety car will come around the final couple of corners. It'll pull into the pits. And the race start will be up to Jake Edwards. One-on-one with Blake Neck, the only two drivers to get into the 106s across our practice and qualifying here tonight. Safety car comes in. Top 6 cars come round. It is green flag racing. It was a great start by both of them as they come across the line here and down towards turn 1, but it's been a phenomenal start from Neck, who has gotten around Jake Edwards into P1 as they come up through T1 for the very first time, but Mitchell's gone wide at the exit of 1, and he's already dropped back a couple of spots here as we're going to check out the GTD start of the race as well. Oh no, you need to go to you went to the wrong one, Steph. It's fine.
Oh no,
it's fine. I'm going to go to the GTPs. It's fine. We've got it. We've got it. It's all good. It's all good. We've got it in the bottom corner, and I'll just run on GTPs for now as they come on through. The GTDs are going to get started here with Adam Hughes leading the way at the moment. They come across the start line and they all just spread out across the track. Yeah, up towards turn 1. Bit of biffing and barging from Shepherd and Barber in the background, as you can see. But Hughes has had a great start, getting away nice and early here. And can confirm Ferguson did start from the pit lane, as Mr. Hughes has done well here just to get away ahead of the rest of the field.
Yeah, he's definitely pulling away there and pulling a gap.
As Hodgkinson's gone into the wall in the background though. So that curb of death has already claimed a victim here tonight, Steph. As Hodgkinson has been caught up. It didn't. It really didn't. As you can see it here, so he's come up and then bang, catches the sand and into the wall he goes. Had a bit of a dropout at the time as well. Got a shot of the boys in the background, so very, very easy to occur. And he's pulled it up. This could be a safety car nice and early.
It looks like it could be. Yeah, it's. Don't want to call it though for a safety car. It's not what you want this early.
He's towed, so I'd say they've just let him tow from that point. Because I can't see the safety car out there. As Next starting to break away a little bit here from Jake Edwards back in P2. Ashton Reeves still in P3 at this stage in time, trying to chase them down. Just keeps it nice and tight there. Caldwell up into P4 ahead of Zach Mitchell, Brent Tucker, Josh King, Jack Anderson, Kyle Gretsch, and then Gordon McCulloch. Of course, Jordan Ferguson started from the lane here tonight. So he's way, way back in the field. He'll be hoping for a safety car to get back into contention at this point. might be something for race control to check out on that start line for Blake and Jake there. If Blake did actually go past him, as they are starting to catch the GTD field already. I'm going to go on board here with Blake. So I want to give you a bird's eye view of the pace discrepancy. Look at how fast he is catching the back of those cars.
Insane.
That's ridiculous.
Absolutely insane.
A bit of a blink here down into the bottom section as we come on through. Race control over the radio. What are they saying, Steph?
Incident lap 1 is NFA this stage.
Okay. So we come across the line and we see the best lap times already. 107 there for Neck on his first lap. It was a 118 for Adam Hughes. Check out the interval and look at this. This is the issue now, though. He's got his teammate ahead of him. But this is one of the sections you do not want to catch traffic. It will hold you up, no doubt. Of course, his teammate lets him go, but I don't know if the DPR car is going to do the same and nice him just as much as what Mackay did when he let Blake pass. Jake Edwards. Oh no, Jake's gone in. He's gone wide off that corner. The car looks straight still, but that's going to bring him out of contention at the moment. What's happened to him? So, he's had a big tank slapper through there. He's very lucky.
Wow.
Very lucky not to hit the wall.
That could have been a massive shunt.
But unfortunately for him, that's taken him 14 seconds back from Blake Neck. And he's going to have to do quali laps now just to catch back up or hope for a safety car at this point.
I think
it does look broken. The car doesn't look nice. And what a shame for Jake Edwards, because he was looking like a proper contender.
Oh, it's grabbing.
Yeah, it is. It's just, let's have a look at that actually. What's he done?
Broken steering.
Oh, he hit the car ahead of him. He hit the GTD car.
Yeah. That would have just destroyed the suspension.
Oh, it has. That car is not healthy. And unfortunately for Jake Edwards, this may be race over for him. A bit more blinking in the pit lane. I apologise. Jordan Ferguson now has gotten past all the GTD cars, so he now looks to run on up onto the back of his teammate Kyle Gretsch. And you hate to see it. I mean, he had immense pace here tonight, possibly the race win in hand. Especially if Blake cops a penalty for his race start procedure. Then, all of a sudden, Ash DeVries is in the hot seat to take the win. But
yeah, doors open.
Hate to see it so early in this race as well. 5.5 minutes up to 6 minutes in the proceedings. Jake has come out of the lane though, so he's back on track, and he is crucially still on the lead lap. So that's what's important for him. As long as he stays on this lead lap, it will benefit him. Keegan Caldwell has brought it in super early here. I'm not sure why. He hasn't had an incident from what I've seen.
Very early stop, if that's the case. But
unless it's a penalty, maybe. No, he's bringing it in. So
I haven't heard any penalties being handed out yet. Race control. So there's been a couple of incidences called through, but no actual penalties handed out as yet.
Greg Barber just trying to get past Mr. Mackay ahead of him in P3 on the road at the moment. And make their way through the GTD field. You got a feel for Jake there. Keegan hasn't actually come back out on track, so maybe he's just not happy with the car here tonight, possibly.
Maybe. I think it's hard to tell. Yeah, I think maybe he's just might be struggling around the track a little bit. I'm not too sure. Yeah, he's jumping back into the GTP after being in the GTD for the first round. Might be out of his comfort zone now.
He is back out on track, so maybe oh, you know what it might have been? He might have actually copped a curb and maybe hurt the underside of the car. That might have been what it was.
easy to do around here.
It is. The curbs are hellacious around here. McCulloch's calling for something to race control.
Starts for a toe.
Wow, so could it be our first safety car of the race? This is how it happened. Ahead of some GTD traffic as well as Josh King hopped the curb.
Oh, on the curb.
Oh, yeah, and into the wall.
That's hard.
So I reckon
That's
major underside damage to that car, possibly some steering damage as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had to pull it up.
It's just been cleared to tow, so no safety car at this stage.
Blake Neck still leads the way at this point in time. See Ash DeVries P2 at the moment as well. Nice healthy 5-second gap back to Zach Mitchell with lapped Keegan Caldwell in behind him. Brent Tucker is then a little bit further back with P4. Jack Anderson in the old chatty Corvette. Up into P5. He's up 6 spots. There's a heap of history in these cars and really put it to his advantage here tonight. Up 6 spots in this race after a rear of grid start penalty for a previous race penalty applied to him.
Mover and shaker for the night. So
He is. And the other big mover and shaker to that amount is Mick Clifton in amongst the GTD. He's up 6 spots in his Fez.
He's doing awesome out there tonight. Quali wasn't the best, but the race, yeah, you don't win it in quali, you win it in the race. So good to see him moving up the ladder there and keeping on pace with the guys. It's good.
I have just noticed as well, Andrew Dyson is at the back of the GTD field. I reckon he's had a big incident. I think this might be why this has actually occurred. So it was through turn 1. See where the leader, he's run it way wide, trying to leave heaps of room. The GTP of Blake Neck popped the curb. Has he had a further incident past this point? I don't know.
That'd most likely give you a slowdown through there, so...
Oh, it would too.
Oh,
that was why he had the contact with Edwards.
Yep. There it is, yep.
So that would explain why. Mr. Dyson is at the back of the field at the moment. On board now with Mr. Clifton as he makes his way through. Just want to check if this camera's set right. No, it's not. So he comes on through turn number 1. The side of his car. Up through here now. He's looking nice and tidy at the moment. He is nearly 5 seconds off the back though of the next car on the road in Ryan Jones, but he is the leading non-Porsche on track at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing well out there at the moment. He's a 19.7. He's on pace at the moment with majority of the guys, so it's good to see.
He's doing incredibly well.
Oh well. Going up against all those Porsches would not be easy.
It really won't. It'll be a tough task for him. Obviously, sole Ferrari in the field.
Yep.
We can see Mr. Neck just trying to make his way past some of this traffic, and that now shows you the gap between Clifton and Jones there. We use Blake as the differential, if you will. That's how fast he caught and closed the gap between them. As Jones tries to chase down young Guppy and Ty Delaney, who's trying to chase down Greg Barber, who's still in an intense battle with Mr. Mackay and his teammate Dylan Shepherd now. So we're going to have a nice little three-way dance here in the top of GTD for P3 on the road here tonight.
Good to see a little battle pack starting to form. It's taken a little bit for them to come together, but they're slowly getting there to have little battle packs. It's good.
All working to keep the battle with them. This is our closest battle on track. Shepherd leads this ahead of Mackay and Barber. Obviously Blackout OPR will be hoping to work together here in this battle to try and hold off a fast approaching in Mackay amongst them. Brant Tucker's had a big incident and he has ended up in the wall. Down there, we don't even have a good shot of this. There he is. There he's in the driveway, pretty much. So that'll be a simple push. So this was his crash. This was the previous off track.
Just
we had
the safety
prior.
car.
Yep.
There's our safety car.
So there is our safety car. He's parked up in an awkward position. Oh, he was trying to get past the fishy car And unfortunately for Brett Wardby, he was just wrong place,
Taking
wrong
him out as
time,
well.
and got caught up in that one. Unfortunately there, but safety car's now out on track. This will help Jake Edwards try and close the gap back up to Blake Neck. De Vries and Anderson have now brought it in. This could be a bit of a strategic masterclass if this pays off for them. They're going to try and take any advantage they can get over Neck and Edwards, who they know has the pace over them. Mitchell has stayed out though. We'll see if Neck brings it in though when he meets the safety car.
This will for sure going to bring some pacey raciness to this, and some more excitement. Yeah, this is going to bring everybody back into play at the moment.
I'm sorry. Pacey raceness. It needs to be a t-shirt now.
Look, I don't know why I said that. Let's just keep going.
That was incredible. If I was French, it'd be incredible. That was just phenomenal. As Neck brings it in, I expect majority of the field to come in now. Actually,
yeah. Adam Hughes has brought it in as well.
Yeah.
Look, that's just added to my day. My tongue tiredness today.
It's fine. We all come up with weird and wacky sayings from time to time.
We do.
I've had my own amount. So, top couple of drivers have now come in to try and counteract any drivers that try to take advantage of the safety car. I want to keep an eye on Ash De Vries and where he lines up in this. Edwards, Ferguson, Gretsch, they all came in. Anderson's come in. King's now come in. Caldwell came in on lap 5, so we'll see if he comes in again or if the track position's actually now going to help him with that earlier stop. I think this will pay dividends to the majority of the field. De Vries is going to come in. He's not going to come past Neck, but he is going to get past both Mitchell and King, so he'll remain P2 on the road. Question is, though, will Anderson also get past him? I don't think he will, as he's only just coming through the FD section now. Hey,
interesting.
Andrew gets it. Pacey raceness, muchness, bigly. In quote marks at the bottom, or in that little dash mark, and then who quoted it? Steph Piccoli. Pickles we'll have on there.
Goodness gracious, I'm not living that down now.
Yeah, never ever.
Not living that down.
I want JP to just off rip pull that out when focusing on you in a race for 8-6.
No, I'm not gonna live that down.
I want to hear him in his rough, raggedy British accent say pacey races. That's what I want.
Oh, I'll have to ask for the royalties. I think that's oh goodness me. Not ideal.
It is not ideal, as Keegan has now brought his car into the lanes. This now helps Jake Edwards get further up into the field.
Yep.
It's now brought him back into contention, Steph. Which is
it has.
good to see. Blake Neck behind some lap traffic. They'll get a wave around, of course.
Yep.
In Ferguson and Gretsch. And then he will sit in behind the safety car driven by Stefan McCartan here tonight.
Andrew. My goodness gracious.
Stiff Pickles.
Yeah.
That's actually, you know what? That's like another, like...
That's my other nickname.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know how people say, like, stiff shit? Stiff Pickles. That's one of those terms I reckon you could pull out.
That's a name Gordon McCullough gave me. One of our practice races. Cheeky bugger. No, it's just stuck ever since.
Well, unfortunately for Gordon, he's still in the pits, so Stiff Pickles is not going to help him at this point.
No, but it's, that's where it started, that's where it's come from, and it has stuck. And now it's all out there for the YouTube land to know.
There we go. Every time you practice now, Steph, Andrew is only referring to your times as pacey races. It's in infamy at this point. It is in infamy.
Oh, this is yeah. Yep.
One thing, just to what happened to Nick from Mark Cochran? moment is P3 in GTD class. He has had a pit stop, so pretty good at the moment. And at this point as well, so Adam Hughes came in. He came in on lap 10 when the safety car was called. Clifton, Island, and Mackay all stayed out. Mackay needs a pit stop, so he's not going to stay at the front of the field. But Island and Clifton are provisional P1 and P2 in the GTD field. They are leading the way.
They are. They are. Sorry, it's just here in race control over the channel there. All the race rounds are completed now. So everyone's coming back around to be on the lead. Well, some on the lead lap at this stage.
Hopefully this blinking doesn't continue, otherwise I'm going to have to stop sharing my screen into Discord. I don't want to do that because then you have to figure out where I'm looking.
That's alright. Make it work.
We'll see if it settles itself down. I am running a lot more. I am loading a lot more stuff into the tracks now to make the tracks look as good as possible. Because when I went to Nürburgring, there was no pit. There was no structures around the pits, and it looked absolutely bare. I'm like, can't have that. It's gotta look fine. So. Same for Suzuka last night for vets. It's no, I gotta have the pit, and I actually forgot that Suzuka had a pit building, and I saw it. And I'm like, oh, that's right, pit building.
Building.
Oh,
where did you get there?
Oh, pit building. Where did that come from? But so of course, current lay of the land stuff. Obviously, Neck leads the way to De Vries, to Mitchell, to Anderson, to King, to Edwards. Edwards is 5 spots back off where he started this race, but crucially, he's within 5 seconds of Blake. Problem is, though, he's got to be able to get past 4 Cadillacs to get to the Cadillac he wants to get past in Blake Neck at the front of the field, and it's going to be tough for him to do that, I think. It's going to be real tough. We know he's got pace, but can he do it in time to get onto the back of Blake without Blake running away?
I think he can do it. If he can get around them quick enough, I think he can do it. He's just looking at his fastest lap time so far. You're probably looking at midgy under 3/10 of a second. Bit under 3/10 of a second. Off the pace of Blake Neck. Look, it's sort of going to depend as to how he can manoeuvre himself around the other caddies, but I think he can do it. I think he can get up there.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. He has done it before. Can he produce a bit more magic for us here tonight? I believe safety car will be coming in this lap. Andrew Rushworth and Chad, I've only got 5 minutes before I got to go watch my Vets race stream. Have a good night all. Thanks for coming with us and joining us here tonight, Andrew. Although, I'll remind you, mate, you can watch both at the same time. It's not. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You could watch both.
I know for a fact, Andrew always goes back and watches the SRW streams after the Vets is finished.
Oh well. He needs to think about the double bubbles then. Watch both
he
at
does.
the same time.
He does.
Safety car's pulled away though. Oh, that's not what I wanted to get rid of at all. This is what I wanted to get rid of. You can see here, GTPs will come around. The GTDs will be right on the back of them. Let's make our way across the top of the hill. Blake has gone early on his restart as he comes around the final corner. We don't know if there's a penalty or not looming over his head for the start procedure. As he comes around turn 1, De Vries follows with Mitchell in behind. And there's the GTDs in the background at the moment for their start. Keep an eye on Blake up the front as we check these guys out as well. There's Dean under all sorts of pressure here from Chris Island in behind him. Adam Hughes battling it out with Mick Clifton in behind as well for P3 on the road, provisional P2 at this stage in time. Hopefully Mick does not get eaten alive by all those blackout OPR cars in behind him. As we come up over the curb of death, hopefully they all survive at this stage in time. They look good at the moment. The battle continues on.
Blake has absolutely pulled away a massive gap already. He's absolutely smashing it out there tonight.
And he is a cut above the rest at the moment. Mick Clifton, though, under all sorts of pressure here in amongst the GTD field as he tries to continue this battle on with the Blackout OPR cars of Adam Hughes, Dylan Shepherd and Greg Barber in behind him at the moment. Barbs will be lining up right behind. He'll just sit here for a moment, maybe try and line it up across the next lap at this stage in time. As Clifton continues on here. P5 on the road at the moment, provisional P4 at this stage, but he's got all sorts of pressure from Barber in behind him as they come round the final corner. And it's going to be all sorts of pressure up towards turn 1. Barb's looking to line it up. Don't know if he wants to go for it just yet. He's a patient operator. He'll wait for another opportunity.
Yeah, you gotta pick your points around here. You can't you gotta be patient. You gotta wait. You gotta be patient. You don't want it to end badly and end up in the wall. So good decision there to pull back a little bit.
Ashton Breeze, though, has got the spots in that time. We're looking at Mick Clifton. He's out of off track. This is why he dropped out of P2 on the road. Going to make life easier for Jake Edwards, who's now gotten past him. See there, he caught the curb, but death on into the wall.
That's a heavy hit.
It is, and that car will need to trundle through the lane and fix it. I could almost guarantee you, if we look at his cockpit cam, let's just see here. Has he got steering? Oh no, the steering, not much steering damage actually on that, so he doesn't look too bad. He stayed out though, so doesn't want to give up the track position. Maybe if there's a safety car, he'll give it away. Keaton Caldwell down the inside of Josh King at turn 1, gets the move done here in his Porsche and moves up into P6 on the road at this stage. As we continue on at this point in time. Back to our GTD battle though with Mick Clifton, who has got Greg Barber in tow in behind him at the moment. Does not want to give this up. Jones is on the back of this as well, in behind Ty Delaney. There's smoke up ahead. Damien Mackay was in the wall then for TriStar Racing. He's kept rolling on though, but he's now dropped out of the lead of the GTDs, but he does still need his pit stop. So, hasn't really affected anyone else in this race, but it's only going to make his night worse.
Car 923 just gotten a drive through for passing under safety car.
That is Damien McBay of DPR, as Greg Barber's had a spin down at the double rights. He'll now have to try and get back on track nice and easily. This is now promoted Mick Clifton up into the top 4 of the running. Takes a little bit less pressure off him now, but he has got a fast approaching Ty Delaney in behind him as they come down towards the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. Ty lines this up down the inside of Mick.
Got him on the brakes.
Gets it done. Ty moves up into P4. Mick now P5 on the road at this stage in time.
Yeah, Mick is a very big defensive driver. Knows when to defend, knows when to attack. So he would have seen him coming up in his mirror. He would have known he was just slightly quicker. So he made sure he left him a bit of room there.
Edwards has now finally gotten past Jack Anderson here, so he's back into the top end of town at this stage in time, trying to chase down Blake Neck at this time. He's P3 on the road at the moment. He's got 7 to 8 seconds to catch up to Blake Neck. He's looking to get all over the back of Zach Mitchell, who's P2 at the moment in the GTP field.
Definitely carving up at the moment.
Make any gains he possibly can. Wants to be in the best position possible. If we get into another safety car happening here tonight. We have got just under 20 minutes to go in this race. Now getting in towards 15-minute warning. As Edwards chases down Blake Neck, who's been in dominant form here tonight. As we can keep an eye on Jake here. We've also got Clifton's little battle happening in the bottom corner. with Ryan Jones. Callan Hodgson trying to catch up to him as well. Edwards is just trying to stick with him in front of his GTP field. I mean, the pace that he's shown here tonight, Steph, has been incredible. And the fact he's been able to come back in this, whether he's going to be able to get up to Blake in the last 15 minutes is another question. But he's going to be in the hot seat if Blake makes a mistake or gets caught up in anything.
Yeah, it's going to be, look, it's going to be touch and go. But I'm not going to say never. You never know. So he's doing well. Yeah, he's carving up. I think he's catching to with Zach there. He's just got to, once he's past Zach, he'll be pushing very, very hard.
Jack Anderson's just had a big slide down at the double right, got caught out by the traffic there. Drops a couple of spots but continues on. Doesn't look like getting damage on the car at the moment. Jake Edwards is going to get past him now, but I'm sorry, not Jake Edwards, Josh King is going to get past him now as Edwards continues to try and fight with Zach Mitchell ahead of him as they come through the traffic at this stage. And down the main straight they come.
Looks like poor Mick Clifton there, he's lost a couple of spots in that battle. Hasn't sort of paid dividends.
It's a tough night at the office for him, although still going well. P6 in class at the moment, so he's still had a gain so far. There we can see Mick there. The GTPs are about to come past him that we were just focusing on as they come through. Mick already dropping some pace at the moment to Callan Hodgson up ahead of him. He's right on board with him now. You can see the pace of the GTPs as they come past. I do not know why that is flickering so bad. I am, you know what, we're not going to do the W anymore, unfortunately, Steph. I'm just going to have to stop streaming my screen, unfortunately. Because it's not liking it as Edwards has had a big incident down at the FD section. And I think that is race over for him, Steph, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What has happened? He's come down. I apologise for all the blinking, obviously. He's tried to go for the move. Oh, and one of the DPR cars has just appeared on the inside of the road. They blinked out and blinked back in. And he just had nowhere to go.
That's... Oh, wow. That's not ideal there.
It's not. Unfortunately for him, I think that might be race over, and that might be Blake next to lose now at this point.
I think it could be.
11 to 12 seconds. Ahead of Zach Mitchell. Ahead of Keegan Caldwell, who's 8 seconds off the back of him in P3. Then it's Jack Anderson. And then Josh King, and then there is Jake Edwards in behind Josh at the moment. And it's just been a night of struggles for him in terms of race capacity.
Yeah, he hasn't pulled the guns out tonight, unfortunately, but yeah, it's been a tough one. Definitely a tough one.
Continues on, gets past Josh, moves up into P5 now, looks to chase down Jack Anderson. In P4, 3 seconds up the road from him, coming down the straight and coming past one of the DPR cars in the GTD field as he comes up onto the back of Ty Delaney, gets past him. Oh, Ty needs to be careful there. Hold your line, Ty, they'll get past you. Don't worry about moving out of the way.
Got to be predictable. When you're predictable, they can get through.
Exactly right. Hey, you know what, Steph? You should race GTs because you know the mantra. Mr. Anderson continues on.
Just having the life experience of being a backmarker. Hamish?
You know what? I'm with you on that one. Depending on certain cars, it can go either way. Pro 4s, not a backmarker, front of the field. Other things, backmarker a little bit of the time as we get a cheeky flash from Jack. He knows he's on screen. He's also letting them know that he's coming past into this next corner. Giving them plenty of warning.
Race Control's just handed out a black flag to Adam Hughes.
Oh, very interesting.
I missed what it was for, but he just got a black flag. So he's going to transit the lane.
Shows that race control or race control members are not exempt from getting penalties. Mark saying Steph's a beast in the GTP, a 6-hour Watkins spring winner. Did you race the GTP at Watkins?
Last year, yes, came first in the split, first overall. I have not driven it since though.
Okay.
And
was that your first? Was that your first outing in the GTP?
It was.
And how did it feel?
It was amazing. Let me say, it was amazing. It was a lot of practice laps.
Right. And had you raced any other prototype before that, like the LMP1 or the LMP2?
Nope. Look, I know we harp on about the roadmap. As we now know, I'm not one to follow it.
Yeah, but the difference is though, you put in the practice where not everyone else can put in the practice, and you also practice for one track on one setup.
I do, yes. Once I know what setup I'm going to do, I'll try 3, only, and then I cut it down to 2, and then I cut it down to the 1, and I just smash the laps in that one till I know I'm 100% comfortable, and that's what I use in the race. I don't actually, just give a bit of insights into my racing, I don't actually use a quali setup.
I don't
like
either.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, I don't either. I literally, I'll trial a quali setup if I'm really struggling, like in a pre-qualifying scenario.
Yeah.
If I'm struggling for pace, then I will try out a quali setup. Majority of the time, though, I'll just do the race set with less fuel in it, because that's what I practice in.
Look, I have done that. Done the race set with low fuel, and I have forgotten to change the fuel before the race. So since then, I don't change the fuel, which is probably hampering my qualifying efforts. But I have been caught out before, so I tend not to do that. But yeah, look, the GTP, awesome fun. Did it in the caddy. Teamed up. I did have a whoopsie. Put it into the wall. But we came back and we won it, so it was awesome.
A great showing of pacey races.
Definitely pacey, racy. Racy, pacey.
As
100%.
Mr. Mitchell looks to have P2 locked in at the moment with 10 minutes to go. As Keegan Caldwell is a bit far off from the moment, struggling to get past some of the traffic. Flashing his lights, but what's interesting is Jack Anderson is fast approaching, as well as Jake Edwards, so we could start getting a nice little 1, 2, 3 triple threat for the final couple of minutes in this race. Jack has got immense...
very speedy.
He's very speedy. He has a lot of experience in these cars, a lot more than what Keegan does. I don't know if Keegan's going to be able to hold him off forever. And we know how much pace Jake has. I think he's going to get past both of them eventually, but it's going to be an interesting battle to come for us here. With 10 minutes together, we will take this time to thank our series sponsors, our title sponsors, Warren & Brown Tools and Shannon's Insurance, as well as our other sponsors, Motorsport Australia, Shunt Scenery, Grim Industries, big squiggle there from Jack as I named them off, NeuroPower and DSL Rail Services. Thank you for supporting this series, and thank everyone out there as well who's joining us here tonight or who has joined us at any point in this round. We thank you for your time. We thank you for joining us here on SRWtv, bringing us into your home or wherever you're watching from, whenever you're watching from, whether it's live or on the replay as well. Thank you for getting into the chat if you have, or leaving your comments. Be sure to like, subscribe and click the bell icon so you are notified anytime we go racing. With our 5 racing series across the week, including the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercar Series on Tuesday nights, the Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals on Wednesday nights, the Thursday night Shannon's Insurance GR86 Nationals, which is also a Motorsport Australia official series where you can see Steph Piccoli racing every Thursday. The Friday night IMSA Shadow Series here, brought to you by Warren & Brown Tools, and then rounding out our racing week, our Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Super Sunday / Monday during stops rounds series with pros and pro-am classes on track as Edwards looks to get this done down through turn 1 on Anderson. Anderson leaves him plenty of room, lets him have it, and he'll now tuck in on the back of him up towards Keegan Caldwell in P3.
Yes, great awareness there from Anderson to to give him that space that he needed to get around there. That was good good awareness.
Jack's a smart driver. He's
yeah.
As I mentioned, he has so many hours and laps in a GTP car.
It's great.
Has done 2 Daytona 24 hours in the GTP, done a Le Mans 24 hours in the GTP. Believe him, Petit Le Mans around here in the GTP as well. So he has immense experience in this car, and he's smart. He's smart when it comes to this sort of driving and this sort of racing. And he'd rather get his car to the finish line than to bin it and, you know, drop down a heap of places.
That's the goal every week, to not bin it. But no, he's doing awesome out there. It's awesome to see, you know, show, with his experience on show out there. It's great.
Now we look ahead to Keegan Caldwell for Jake Edwards to try and chase down at this point of the race. I know Keegan's been known to be very aggressive in his defending in the past while he's been driving. It may pay off for Jack if it catches Jake out, but I don't know if even if Keegan's amount of defending and overblocking can stop him from getting past. Jake is immensely quick, and you can see here he's already catched onto the back of Keegan as he got caught up by some GTD traffic as they come down at the bottom of the back straight, and he'll look to get this done in the next lap or so, maybe even down at turn 1, Steph.
Turn 1 is off very high potential. He's closing that gap very, very, very quickly.
Here on the dashboard now of Jake Edwards. Into the Formula D section, through the chicane they come. If they were drifting, they'd hook it right, but they're not. They're racing, so they're continuing on straight. And through the final corner they come, and it may only be a matter of time until Keegan Caldwell waves goodbye to a podium finish over Jake Edwards. He comes up onto the back of Mick Clifton now, goes for the over-under, gets it done, and looks ahead onto the end of this lap.
They're just getting caught up in a field of lap traffic there, so just make it a little bit harder.
It's almost like the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote at this point, isn't it?
Yep, it is. It's catch me if you can. Yeah, it's... Alright. I'm not going to say he's not going to catch him, because I think he will. He'll get up onto his bar. What have we got left?
5 minutes.
Not much left.
He's not going to get a safety car. He's going to have to rely on pure pace.
He's going to have to, yeah, definitely, for sure. But he's doing well. He's getting there. He's just got to get through these last couple of cars, and he's on him. So won't be long.
You can see from the bird's eye view of the Black-Eyed OPR Acura just how much he is trying to chase down this man, Keegan Caldwell. P3 on the road at the moment, trying to have a breakout moment in this car at this track. We've commented previously on his choice to swap from GTD up to GTP. He's given us a flash, so that's who's letting know that Callum should not come back on track ahead of him. He has got major pressure on him. There you can see Jake in the background. And you would not want to be in Keegan Caldwell's seat at the moment.
No. That's going to be a very hot seat with that pressure. No, thank you. He's doing well, though. He's navigating around well. He's doing good. Don't envy him at the moment, though.
I do not envy him at all. Let's look off the back of him now at Jake Edwards, fast approaching. 3 minutes to go in the session. 3 minutes for Keegan Caldwell to survive the onslaught here from Jake Edwards, who tries to catch him and chase him down and get the move done at this point in time. Less than a second is the gap, so he will have the toe. The toe's only really going to come into effect down that back straight, but we know how fast Jake is through this first sector.
Oh, he's hopped over that curb there.
You know what, to be fair to Keegan, though, it's not the most that he's hopped over that curb tonight. Practice 2 laps in a row, he cut the whole corner, so...
Fair point.
He has cleaned it up a little bit in the race, but now you can see Edwards all over the back of him here. He's pushing so hard. I reckon he's going to go for it at the end of the straight, Steph. Oh, he's gone for it there. He's gone for it early.
He's gone now. He's made the move.
as Caldwell slots in behind.
Wow.
Couple of off tracks in the background for the likes of Anderson and Ferguson, but this is the battle on hand. Edwards has made it look easy. He pops up into P3. Caldwell drops off the podium, but I don't think Edwards is going to be able to catch Mitchell by 8 seconds. He's brought it in.
Wow.
Is he going to run out of fuel? Is he going to run out of fuel?
He pitted the same lap as...
He pitted a lap earlier than Caldwell did.
Lap earlier, yeah. Maybe he short-fueled it. I haven't heard a call from race control at all.
Is Caldwell? He's had a drive-through. He must have had. He must have had too many off tracks.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, he's had 13 incident points, like 13 off tracks on my screen. So whether that's now actually incidents-wise, he's actually gone over the threshold. Yeah. But that's now put Keegan Caldwell into P3. Blake Neck will start the second to last lap of this race. It's going to be tight to get another lap in, but I think he will based on his pace. But Keegan Caldwell all of a sudden finds himself back on the podium, and with 10 seconds in tow, back to Jack Anderson in P4.
He's not going to know what to do with himself.
He's not. He's really not.
Wow. He's doing well. To keep Edwards, at bay for so long, and that luck that he had, that Edwards had to transit the lane. That's insane.
Well, arguably, that's handed Caldwell a podium. No matter what the penalty was for, I'm sure everyone will be eagle-eyed on that incident report sheet when it comes out. Blake Neck, though, is going to come round the final couple of corners. He is going to start the final lap on the dying embers. Literally with only seconds to go, he starts the final lap of this race. Couldn't have timed it any better myself. And Neck leads the way as Ty Delaney trundles off the track ahead of him here, but he now comes up to traverse this track for one more run around Road Atlanta.
What a finish this has turned out to be.
Finish is going to be absolutely immense. I'm sorry, I took away from my microphone for a second because my cat was knocking at my door. I did hear you say that. I'm like, oh, quickly hurry up, I don't want to leave too much dead air.
That's alright.
I mean, what a race it's been for Blake. I mean, Jake obviously had his struggles here tonight. He's going to come home top 5 at least.
Yeah.
But Blake's been on another level. You know, Jake was on that level, but again, just struggled with some of that consistency, struggled with some moments. It just wasn't his night tonight. But Blake Neck, after not even claiming pole with an immense time of a 1:06.4, will come across the line after leading every lap of the race, and he will win at Road Atlanta in the GTP class. Dylan Shepherd will come across the line to finish his race at the end of this lap, although he has guaranteed P1, as Ryan Jones, Ty Delaney, Adam Hughes finished behind the GTP leader, so Dylan doesn't actually have to push down this final lap, he just has to get it across the line.
Just got to finish.
Yeah, he will do an extra lap than those other cars, so unless he has to tow back, then he's got this win locked up for Blackout OPR.
Bit of an unfortunate finish. I did hear a request to tow that last lap there, so missed who it was though.
Jack Anderson comes home P4, only just ahead of Jake Edwards by less than a second for the GTP. Zach Mitchell and Keegan Caldwell made up the rest of that podium. Josh King comes home P6. De Vries, after starting on the second row of the grid and a couple of troubles and a little wrestle with the wall, will come home P7 ahead of his teammate Jordan Ferguson and his other teammate Kyle Gretsch in P9. Gordon Mullock will come home P10. Brant Tucker, unfortunately, out of this race. Quite a few laps ago, he will not cross the line and finish the race here tonight.
Looks like it was David McVeigh that called for that tow.
I think luckily for him, the cars behind him were behind the GTP leader when he finished, so He will
Yeah.
be a lap down on the cars ahead. We'll have to see how iRacing kind of confirms where he's finished. Of course, we will get that confirmation. Let's see Blake Neck on the finish line, where he finishes in P1 here tonight for the GTPs. This is how they finished out on track with our provisional race results for the GTDs. Here tonight, it was Dylan Shepherd ahead of Ryan Jones and Ty Delaney. That's the top three, with Adam Hughes, Mick Clifton, Jamie Dyke, Chris Island, Damien McBay, and Callan Hodgson making up the top 10. Brett Wardby, Greg Johnston then make up the rest of the field, with Andrew Dyson 8 laps down. Greg Barber 11 laps down, unfortunately for Barb. Stefan, our race controller, of course. And then into the GTPs, it was Blake Neck ahead of Zach Mitchell and Keegan Caldwell. 2 debut podiums there for Mitchell and for Caldwell here tonight. Anderson then ahead of Edwards to make up the top 5. King, DeVries, Ferguson, Gretsch, McCulloch make up the top 10. And then Tucker 14 laps down on the rest of the GTP field here tonight.
I just can't get over that finish. That was incredible.
It was
Wow.
one to behold for sure,
Wow.
Steph.
I don't think I've ever seen one like that for a while. With the last minute drive through the pits and whatnot. Yeah, wow.
We'll quickly
Quickest laps and everything tonight.
We'll quickly check out some of our incidents that happened here in tonight's race. This was the first with Zach Mitchell down at turn 1. He ran it wide off of turn 1. Lucky not to hit the wall on this off track. Just managed to bring it back on. Then we have Callum Hodgkinson, who is down at the curb of death. We can see this here. Caught the sand very early, not to catch the cars in behind, but they also hurt themselves into the wall as well. And then this was obviously Barbs, who also got caught out a bit later on with a double right. Just hooked it round off exit. No, it was only a trundle off the road. Actually, it wasn't actually a rotation. It's making me look bad now. It's making me look like I'm calling stuff incorrect here tonight. Trying to find our next major incident, which was this one with Brent Tucker. And this is what brought out our safety car. So of course we only had one, but it was big damage for him here through turn 1. So you can see here, went to go past, but over-rotated. Good job of holding brakes. Off the wall though, ricochets into Brett Wardby. And then just big contact between them at that point in time.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there for Warby. Wrong place, wrong time. In that one, unfortunately he couldn't avoid it. Just yeah, unfortunate luck there to end him up into the wall as well.
Well, we will get our podium finishers in for a chat here tonight. First off, we'll bring in young gun Ty Delaney, who was P3 in the GTDs. I believe he was P3. He was P3, I was right.
Yep.
So young gun Ty Delaney in here with us. Young Guppy, you finally found your home in GTDs, sorry, I should say. And, well, out of the Porsche Cup Series, it looks like, for GT3s at the moment, with majority being Porsches, you were one of the better drivers out on track and managed to come home on the podium, young fella. So how does that feel after making the swap from the prototype into the GT field this season?
Oh, yeah, pretty good. I think this is the, third round, so getting a podium within 3 rounds is pretty good. I'm not the best in the GT3, so I've just tried to keep it clean and not make too many mistakes. Unfortunately, tonight I did make a couple of mistakes, which led me to getting P3, and I felt like it could have been P2, but yeah, that was just really good driving from Ryan and everyone else that was around me. All of them are crazy fast. Couldn't keep up with basically any of them, so just had to keep it clean.
Is this a sign now you may be transitioning more into sports car racing away from supercars, or are you still trying to balance both in your racing career at the moment?
Still love supercars, 100%, but I think trying to get into GT is pretty hard, so I'm just going to try and do that on the other side of things, but still trying to balance both if I can.
Well, Leakey's been in the chat. He's shouted you out for a great effort tonight, Ty. Steph, do you have anything you want to ask Ty before we let him go?
How are you finding your transition between the supercar and to the GT3? I know a lot of drivers out there struggle because of the the ABS traction, different downforce elements, but between the GT3 and the supercar. How are you finding that transition at the moment?
It's definitely a big step because supercars very rough on the tyres and GT3's a lot easier on the tyres, but over time they both get quite bad. But GT3s are a lot better on the tyres, so I feel like it's a bit easier to drive. But when you're pushing it a bit harder, it's harder to catch the oversteer and understeer.
Yeah, no, understandable.
So, speaking of understeer and oversteer, Ty, we've had a question from Jackals in the chat. Are you going to race in the Legends World Challenge starting up later in May?
I don't really know what that is, I'll be honest.
Oh, well, it's a race series where it's like Aussie racing cars, but it'll be the Legends 34 Coupe on some road courses.
Oh yeah, I might have a crack at that. That sounds quite fun. Love those cars on an oval or in a road track.
Oh, mate, we'll let you go because I'm sure it's not too far off your bedtime here tonight.
Yeah.
Let us know who helps get you and Fishy Motorsports out on track, and anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. Thank you. Just a big shout out to West End Motor Group, Parramatta Peugeot Professional, Parramatta City, Great Wall Haval, West End Parramatta, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, DC Shades, Relax, Precision Sim Training, Infinity Designs, Adrenaline Images, Battery Warehouse, Ellie Beach, MJS Gaming, and Whitaker Electrical Design, and a big shout out to Fishy Motorsport for helping me get us out there, and SRW for making it all happen.
Oh, mate, thanks for coming over to chat to us here tonight. Best of luck next week out at Long Beach. It's going to be an absolute war zone out there, I'm sure. We'll let you go, and once again, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too, mate. All right, we will drag in our next competitor in Ryan Jones, who finished P2 on the road here tonight. Mr. Jones still got that pace and flying the flag for DPR here tonight after Mr. Dyson caught some bad luck early on.
Yeah, we got pretty lucky tonight. I know I had great pace in practice and then slightly worse in qualifying and even worse in the race. Yeah, got a bit lucky. Kept the car clean-ish after lap 2 and the infinite slowdown penalty that gave me.
Well, how are you? Obviously, this track is one where a lot of drivers get a lot of practice around in a sports car. How did you feel coming into the race and maybe kind of getting used to racing around this field, around this track for IMSA tonight?
Well, according to my opti, I'd never done a Porsche lap at Road Atlanta before, which I don't think seems reasonable. I feel like I probably have at some point. I do enjoy the track. It's, I always like the shorter tracks. I was just trying to keep it clean and keep working on the GT3 and road racing pace. And I would have liked some rain. I've been loving the rain. So we can get some more of that the next few weeks. That'd be great.
Well, I have heard rumours and seen some weather reports that Mugello for round 5 is going to have rain.
Awesome. No doubt that'll be the week I'm away, but I'll get keen.
It's always the way, isn't it?
100%.
Oh, Steph, do you have anything you'd like to ask Ryan before we let him go here tonight?
Yeah, it's obviously P2 there. It's made up quite a few spots, up 4 spots there. It's definitely a great effort. How was it out there? Was it what was the sort of track conditions like tonight?
I wasn't minding it. I went a slightly different direction to the other DPR boys in qualifying. They were able to drive the car a lot looser than I was. I wanted the rear end to be a bit more snug, and the race setup did have that sort of more snug feel. So I like the race setup. Track conditions were pretty decent. Wasn't too hot up there. It was only 43 degrees. Only 43 degrees. I didn't really notice it, to be honest. Just keep the head down and try to keep it on the racetrack.
It did well. Definitely did well to keep it on the track there. And unfortunately, that infinite slowdown that you do get here, it feels like it goes on forever, and it's almost impossible to drop. But well done.
Yeah, Dylan Shepherd and I both went off at turn 1 at exactly the same time at lap 2, and we both rejoined, and we kept getting the slowdown back down to a 10th, and it would go back up to a 2nd. It's not great.
No, definitely not. Not ideal.
Oh, well, Rye, let us know who helps get you and simrigs.com DPR out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well?
Big shout out to crew at SRW and yourselves, putting on the broadcast, putting on the league, of course. Always good to have a look back and see what you said about us. Big shout out to Ty Delaney as well. We had a nice, clean little battle at the end of that race. Somehow got through the last corner side by side without dying, so that was fun. Good job, Dylan, taking the win. And sponsors, of course, simrigs.com, Southwell Listen Hoist, Bedmax Mechanical, and NP Designs. And all the teammates at DPR for jumping in and having a go tonight.
Very good, mate. Well, hopefully we get to catch you on track next week for Long Beach. Best of luck for that one if you are involved. And if we don't get a chance to speak to you, best of luck for the rest of the season as well.
Thank you. Catch you.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
Mr. Dylan Shepherd into P1 here tonight for Blackout OPR. How did it feel for you out there tonight, mate? Obviously, a bit of chaos for some drivers, but for you, you kept it nice and clean and got home on the top step.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Qualified all right, had good pace in practice, and then made a few mistakes off the start, or the first opening laps, and then fought back a little bit. Safety car helped, and then yeah, just kind of kept it clean and let a few of the others come undone in front of me, and yeah.
So obviously, I would say that you are not shy to racing around Road Atlanta in a sports car, then, because I think everyone's probably had a bit of history around here, surely.
Yeah, I think that was my first GT3 race here in a few years, to be honest. But I've done a lot of cup car stuff here, obviously, but yeah, track was awesome, car felt good, and yeah.
Just now give you some confidence going forward into the rest of the season. Of course, Long Beach next week, probably the biggest test out of any, just to try and keep it clean and keep it nice and consistent throughout proceedings. But how do you feel going now with obviously 5 rounds to go? Does it help with those confidence levels, but also maybe think you could have a shout at a championship here if you can keep producing performances like this?
I mean, this is my first round of the season. I probably don't know if I'll make next week. Work can be a little bit crazy. So, yeah, I mean, it does give me confidence that we can run at the front in this series. Obviously, got good teammates around me who know a lot about this series and these cars and these combinations, I suppose. So having them helped a lot. They were, also helping to set up and stuff tonight and talking strategy. So I've got the team behind me, got the blokes behind me. I think, yeah, if I can make other rounds, it do have confidence to be a front runner.
Oh, mate, hopefully we can see that pay off for you whenever you do join us on track again here. Let us know who helps get you and Blackout OPR on track each week, and anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well.
Yeah, firstly, massive shout out to all the boys at Blackout OPR. Yeah, apart from that, Simrigs, probably our most major sponsor, for all their support. Palmerston Bakery, Shunts, so many Distraction, and Astute Finance, and Fish and Door Lawyers.
Oh, mate, massive congratulations on your win here tonight. Best of luck next time you are out on track with us here. And if we don't get a chance to speak to you, though, best of luck for the rest of the season as well.
Cheers, boys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate. That's
Got
one,
one.
Steph. That's one. It's his first round. We'll give him a half. We'll give him a half mark.
Yeah,
But
we'll let that slide.
Yeah, we will. But we will drag in our GTP podium now, starting out with one that I don't think either of us saw coming, Keegan Caldwell. Keegan Caldwell, a finish that both Steph and I, with all due respect, did not see coming, but through the dying embers and through the fire that was out there in Road Atlanta, you managed to figure out your way through it. Maybe with a little bit of luck with Jake getting a penalty right before the last lap, but you come home P3 and you're starting to find some consistency in this car. do you think now you're going to be able to keep producing these sorts of finishes?
I would like to say a positive thing. I reckon I can keep the consistency up, but I think towards the end of the race with Jack coming in closer, lap after lap, I think I started to feel the pressure. I think last few laps when I had seen that he was closing up, I started locking up, running wide, and I just felt too much pressure. But when I did see him overtake, I didn't try and fight him. I felt like he's a faster car. I'm just going to let him go. I gave him a little flash of the headlights, little wiggle, and he was gone. Then when I seen him turn into the pits, I shot up and I was like, oh, well, I better get going then because I don't know, who was it? Mr. Anderson was behind me and closing.
Now, we mentioned your livery last week was almost a little Itasha, but this week you've gone full Itasha by finding the one of the Toyota GR liveries for this car this week. Was that deliberate or just pure coincidence that that's happened?
I'm just changing liveries each week, really. Like, it wasn't a livery that I seen that I was like, oh, I like that, I'll wear it, but I just scrolled through Trader Paint and I was like, there's a livery, I'll use that, because fortunately I don't have a team livery for the Porsche. I do have for the Cadillac, but since I've made me move to the GTP, I can't change back to the Cadillac.
Oh well, maybe we'll see if you finally do get yourself an actual team livery on the car. But we are appreciating the different liveries each week, as it does give us something new to talk about week in and week out, of course. Big congratulations though to your P3 here tonight. Let us know who helps get you and Rapid iRacing out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well?
I'd like to give a shout out to G-Force Simulators. They hand me out some fresh gear for Wednesday night's F3. Rapid Racing, Wallaby Racing, and Formula OCE. Sway's Fit, and soon to be announced, well, first announced, Rapid's first merch store. Rapid, I forgot the thing now. rapidracing.au.com.
Very good, mate. Very good. Well, we'll let you go. Big congrats on your P3. We'll see if you can continue this run going forward. That's 2 podiums in 1 week. Who knows? Maybe this run will continue for you. But best of luck next week out at Long Beach. I think everyone's going to need it out there. But if we don't get a chance to talk to you, best of luck for the rest of the season as well.
Rightio. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll now drag in our P2 in Mr. Zach Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, welcome to the broadcast booth. As a first timer in here, I will remind you it is a PG area. But big congratulations on your P2 here tonight. And you managed to withstand the onslaught, withstand the wars that were out there on track, and get yourself a debut podium here in SRW. How does it feel to get that one done?
Well, it's my birthday, so I'm really happy it's P2 for this one. I'd like to shout out Pedro as well for the boys at Velocity.
I'm glad they talked you up for that one, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Also, thanks to Ashley, he gave me a setup in the practice session because I didn't have one. I just sort of sat there consistently just running the same laps over and over again, using the traffic as well to better give myself an advantage on other people around. Unfortunately, people were crashing here and there. I didn't really expect to be finishing P2, if I'm honest.
Well, I think you managed to withstand the storm that was out there. I think a bit of bad luck to Jake and to a couple other competitors helped you get there in the end. But I think it came down to consistency, really. And this track's obviously all about consistency. How does it feel to get this this podium under your belt and maybe look forward to next week out at Long Beach, which is another track that deals with consistency and a race of attrition? And going into that one and feeling, if I can stay consistent and stay clean, then I could go one better and get on the top step.
I think Long Beach is very much, consistency is good. It is a bit of a Thunderdome, really. That track, you've got a hairpin that you'll catch GT cars into, and you really can't overtake in a lot of areas on the track, being that it's just narrow street circuits.
Well, I guess it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Last time we were there, it was an absolute war zone, I guess we could say, Steph. Although you weren't there last time, it was pricey in the booth with me. But you will be here next week for your first IMSA running.
I will.
Of Long Beach Action. But let us know, mate, who helps get you on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well. And congratulations on your P2 here tonight.
Mainly just Jack Anderson for bringing me back onto the team after sort of just deliberating with the rest of the team. I'd like to thank them for, supporting me while I try and get good at driving prototypes again.
Very good. Well, thanks for coming to have a chat to us, mate. Best of luck next week out at Long Beach as well. And if we don't get a chance to speak to you, best of luck for the rest of the season as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we'll bring in our ultra dominant, was it ever in question, winner in Blake Neck. 2 weeks in a row. Although this week you had some test coming from Jake Edwards, who pipped you to pole position, but through some bad luck for him and being able to survive the race for you and keeping it clean, you managed to come home on the top step in the caddy once again, Blake. How does it feel to go 2 from 2 here in IMSA for SRW?
Hi guys, thanks for having me. It feels pretty good, although very unexpected how it happened. With Jake pipping me for pole, I was hoping that we'd have a good race-long battle, but unfortunately got caught up in some stuff early on, and I wasn't really troubled since then.
Yeah, we were kind of hoping for a nice little 1-2 battle up the front end between the both of you, and then unfortunately got caught in that traffic, as you mentioned. I guess, 2 in a row now, Long Beach next week, which is going to be a big test. Are you feeling confident for that one, or are you kind of a bit weary of knowing what Long Beach can offer in terms of multi-class racing around there?
Sadly, I don't think I'll be racing next week, but normally I love Long Beach, try and race it as much as I can, and especially with the Cadillac, it's one of its best tracks this season, so it would be very fun to be racing around there, but I don't think I'll be here, unfortunately.
I was looking forward to another mega lap.
I was as well. I was hoping maybe we were going to go sub 60 seconds around Long Beach, but well, I guess are you going to be back for Magello at least?
Yeah, it's looking good for the rest of the season.
Okay.
At the moment, it's just only Long Beach that I won't be here for.
Well, I will pre-warn you then, there will be rain at Magello. I've checked the weather on that session, and there is going to be rain at some point. But that could be a very interesting race for you to come back to with us here. But it was a great performance tonight, and to back up last week's performance and really drill it into our minds that you are the strongest driver in the field at the moment. I think you proved your worth here tonight. But let us know who helps get you and TriStar Racing out on track, Blake. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well?
Shout out to Venture IP, our main sponsor, Brock Caddy. He was our spotter tonight for all 3 of us racing tonight. And to both of you two, to commentating, and SRW for putting the league on.
Very good, mate. Well, big congratulations on your P1 here tonight. Enjoy your week off, if it is going to be an enjoyable venture for you. We'll see you when you come back with us at Magello, but if we don't get a chance to speak to you for whatever reason, I mean, I doubt we're not going to speak to you, but who knows, then best of luck for the rest of the season as well.
Thank you, and good luck for you two next week.
No worries, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I think we will need luck next week, Steph, because it's going to be, it really is going to be, remember your army helmet next week, because we will be running through the absolute war zone that is Long Beach. But so we'll bring it into our broadcast here tonight, Steph, out at Road Atlanta. It provided and proved once again why it is such a good track for multi-class racing. Gave us so many nail-biting moments, so many questions on what could hold for the future. But it also then just produced a hell of a round for so early on in the season, which could shake things up later on as well with some surprising podium finishes.
Yeah, it's definitely keeping the championship alive. I think Blake there, it's a shame he's missing next week, because he's going to be running away with the championship. That's my tip. But the remaining of the championship is going to be close. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be one that you guys do not want to miss. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon so you are notified. We have also now finally fixed our back end here on YouTube where all the playlists are now set up for Season 2. So if you want to keep track of how everyone's going across every single season, all races will be in their relevant playlists on here, similar to how we did Season 1 and the same for the F1 Shadow Series. If you want to catch up on all of our action for 2024, you can also check out those Season 1 playlists as well. Run through all those races if you have some spare time. But for myself, Hamish Munro, alongside Stefanie Piccoli, once again, we thank you for your time. We thank you for joining us here on SRWtv. A big thank you goes out to our title sponsor for this series, W&B Tools, as well as our other title sponsor in Shannon's Insurance, as well as our other sponsors of the series here, Motorsport Australia, Shunt Scenery, DSL Rail Services, Grim Industries, and NeuroPower. We thank you for your time once again here tonight. We'll see you guys on Sunday night for the W&B Tools V8 Supercars Super Sunday Series out at Portimao. Myself and Sinker back in the booth. But until then, we thank you for your time. We thank you for joining us wherever you may be. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and bye for now.
Amazing, I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin and Cam Waters, almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us.